It's very easy to talk about content attention domination when you think of like what is the first thing that I have to do to sell my product or services. When you start thinking about, okay, what do I need first? I need attention. That's the first thing that I need before you can even communicate your message and what can you do for that person, what your product can help them in their daily life. And one framework that I like to use a lot is the storytelling framework, which is an easy way to not sound salesy, but more like, okay, what is your customer's journey where you can like tap in and help them in achieving whatever it is that they're trying to achieve. And the reason for that is that you are able to connect. You are able to put yourself in your customer's shoes and kind of feel what they're feeling, or even remembering what was the first thing that made you go into this niche. Because usually there's a part of us that uh, trying to solve the problem that we had for others, and that's where we are. But first, before you can do all that, I mean, you need to have attention. You need to really be your content relatable, entertaining, and educational for that to happen. And that's why we are talking today about content attention domination. You have to master attention before you can even communicate your message and or what your product can do for them. And I had a very rough time with this at the beginning because I have all the technical things, all the tools. I have my sell funnels, I have SEO, um, different avenues. I mean, even if you go with ads and the ads are not working, it's because you are not connecting at the level or at the stage that your customers in at the moment. And there are three types of faces, and we're going to talk about that later on today. And a lot of the things that we try, like, okay, it's not working, so what we do is that we're going to try to call people and cold calling, and that's even more brutal, in the sense that you have to be aware of the level of rejection that you're going to get. Because and it's not personal, it's because you are interrupting somebody's day, like they are trying to deal with all the problems and anxieties and things that they're trying to make, all the goals they're trying to achieve in their day, and then you call and you say, hey, I got this to sell you, and nobody wants to hear that. Because from the customer's perspective, that what that means is that you just adding another problem to the stack of problems that I already have. And it's very important that you understand this if you want to connect, if you want to have that customer break down their barriers and let you in so they can listen to you. And this is something that I learned from Russell Brunson as well. Russell Brunson talks about, like, you need that 3 5 seconds that they can pay attention to you, enough time for you to actually convey your message. But before that, you don't have anything. So this is why I'm so focused on this, because this is like the big domino, like Russell Brunson talks about. This is the big domino. Once you have this, once you can master attention, then you can connect with your audience and you can let them know how you can serve them better. And this is why I think that before you go into any other strategy or tactic, because that's what we do, entrepreneurs, we focus too much on tactics and not enough on strategy. We don't focus enough on the big game. We give too much importance to the daily battles. And yes, it's important to win your daily battles, but you don't supposed to lose sight of the end game. And at the end of the day, the game, the end game is to help your customer, take them from where they are and this place where it's desperation, there's the uncertainty, to a place where they can feel they have more control and they feel that they know what they're doing and they can control that. So that's why I bring to you content attention domination. So the next thing that I want to tell you about is, okay, what's so important about this? You either the seeker or a beacon. Which one is easier? It's easier to be the beacon, because when you are the seeker, are you pursuing the word itself, it makes you feel uncomfortable. When you're pursuing, nobody wants to be chased. People want to belong to something bigger. People wants to be part of something bigger, but they don't want to be chased. And you may know that what they have is important. You may know how a person's experience can change another. You may know how the product or services can impact this other person in a very positive way. But if you are pursuing or chasing, what do? They run away. So it's better to become a beacon. You have to craft your message in such a way that your customers, your audience, come to you for guidance, right? And that's why I have this, like, you have to become this very bright beacon of knowledge of your own experiences and the things you have learned and the things that make you you. Because let's face it, there's a lot of information out there, and everybody um, make this information available in different formats, but there's always going to be something that connects with you. I mean, I have read hundreds of books, and I always, and it may sound repetitive in other books, but what end up happens is that I connect with a certain author. Like, for instance, I connect with Jason Flayton in many things, but at the same time, I can see how they intertwine with a lot of what Alex Hermosis has said about leads and creating offers. And Jason Flannery talks about the same thing, but then there's a light bulb moment that you're like, oh, now I get it, now I understand. So that's why it's important that you put your message out there, because you don't know who you're gonna impact, who is gonna connect with you, and then suddenly is gonna be like, oh, now I get it, now I understand it. It may be the way you phrased it, it may be the way you presented it to them that actually make that click. So instead of seeking, become a beacon. And in that sense, what you have to focus on is on objections. What are the objections that you are answering for this particular person in that particular niche? What are the answers to those objections, to those questions? And that's how you make a creative way of presenting the message at the beginning in those 3 to 5 seconds, and then you communicate with objections. And this is important for the next step here. Hook and conflict. The way you grab attention is presenting the hook and conflict of that niche or that customer's journey. And I just want to let you know that this is part of a bigger course that I'm presenting, and I just want to, like, the very nutshell of the important bullet points of the process you have to follow to get your message across. And that's why I started with what is content attention domination, and what is important for you to become the beacon and not the seeker. And this is how you get that attention, by presenting the hook and the conflict that is going to connect with that particular audience. And following the framework of storytelling, if there's no conflict, there's no story. And that's why it's so important that you understand what's going on in that head, what it's the challenge. And that's what's going to tell you how to better communicate with that customer is the current stage, and where you're going to take that customer in the paradise looking stage that that person wants to be, where that person feels that they have more control of what they're doing. And there's a lot of factors that intervene here. uh, and basically, if you need to look for help, we have a Facebook group as well that you can post your questions there, and you will get help. But basically, what I'm trying to say here with hook and conflict is that hook is that thing that's gonna grab their attention, and the conflict, it's the bridge between where they are and where they're going, or where they want to be, or where you can take them. And For that, it's important that you understand this. What is the stage or the phase that your customer's in? Awareness. Does my customer know the challenge she is facing? People may think like something's happening to me and I don't know what's preventing me from achieving my goals. They have no awareness of what's going on. They can't pinpoint the problem that they have, and at this stage you have to make a very broad hook so that you can cast a wide web, and then people are gonna feel like, okay, this is part of what's happening, or you can illustrate what's happening, and they can say, okay, now I think I have that problem, right? I think I'm facing this challenge, and that's a stage of awareness. They may doing the day-to-day things, they focus on that, like in that book, I forget the name of the author right now, but it's called the E Myth. And what he presents there is that in the E Myth, a lot of entrepreneurs don't shift the mentality from being an employee to being an entrepreneur. And of course, there's another mind shift later on when you stop being an entrepreneur and you become the business owner, or you shift your mentality to more business like, more strategy. Entrepreneur, it's at the stage where, okay, there's a problem that I want to solve and this is how to solve it, but then you have all the other factors that have to happen before you can communicate that, which is how you grab attention, how you present yourself to your audience, how your audience get to know you and trust you, so then they can purchase your product or service. So awareness, the first stage is that, okay, I know I have something is happening, I don't know what it is, but this is not working. And usually what is going to happen is that the person is not going to interpret like, okay, I am my biggest challenge. Like, my mentality is the one that is between me and achieving the goals. And that's because when you are an employee and you transition to being an entrepreneur, you still behaving yourself as an employee, waiting for instructions, and you want to have everything like in a certain order. You want to have you want to take care of everything. You are the best I can do it, and nobody can do better than you. Things like that. So that may be preventing you from uh, moving to the next phase. Now, consideration, the second phase here in your customer's journey is that, okay, I know I have a problem and I'm looking for a solution. I don't know what's the best solution for me, but I know I have this challenge and I need to solve this in order to move forward. That's what consideration is. Um, and the third is like, okay, I'm ready to take action. I know what my problem is. I know what I want. I know how I want to solve it. And that's the decision stage. And that's where, I mean, your message have to be catered, or better said, tailored to each one of these stages if you want to connect with them. By understanding this, you are able to craft your message or your content in accordance to each stage of this customer. And then that takes us to, what do we do with all that? Okay, what do we do with all this content? What is the purpose of all this content that we are creating? And this is where you have to have a system. Once you create your strategy to for your particular audience, then what is the purpose of it? And of course, the purpose is to generate leads. You want to generate leads. You want your audience to trust you. You want your audience to feel that you are the guy, the best guide for them, and that you can help them achieve their goals. So when you have all this content put out there on different platforms or your social media, what do you do with that? What is the what, why are you teaching? Where, like, Steve, uh slipped my mind again. Steve talks about trailers. Like, you present your content in a trailer form, you give them bits and pieces, so it's not to overwhelm them, and they can take action on each one of these single steps. You don't give them the whole picture because they're trying to figure out their way right now. So your content is going to be plan in such a way that you're going to give them bits and pieces, and then this is going to help you to generate leads. You have to have a system for that in place. How you going to take them in that? Either is that to schedule an appointment, to buy a small course, or you have a lead magnet, whatever it is. What you're going to do with that uh, lead generation? What's the journey that they're going to take with you now? Once they were outsiders, and you address their in your content, you address the challenge that they're facing, you make them aware of the challenge that they're facing, you have addressed their internal challenges and external challenges and the philosophy that they're working with to do what they do, and then you take them in a journey with you. Now that you understand and they feel understood, they're gonna take that journey with you. You become the guide for them. And that takes me to answer the most important question that they asking themselves. You have to understand it. What is my customer trying to escape from? In neuromarketing, we understand that the two things that motivate humans is, or I want to avoid pain, or I want to move towards pleasure. So these two things we have to understand crystal clear in our customers' mind. What are they trying to escape from? What's the pain that they're trying to avoid? And why do I focus more on this question than pleasure? Because we are more prone to escape pain that we are to move towards pleasure. For some reason, is the example of it is more painful, or it is painful to lose $100 that they will tell us that we can win $100. The fact that we lost something we have is more painful than to aspire to get something. So by understanding that your customer is trying to move away from debt, yeah, your customer is trying to move away from disappointment, that your let's say they already put in the time, put in the money, they are more afraid to lose that, to go bankrupt, that they are to like move towards that place where they feel in control. So it's kind of like, don't do what they want, do what they need. So give them what they need, and what they need now is that reason, that motivation to move away from what is causing pain. Once you answer that, that is going to give you the attention that you need to grab your audience, to grab your customers at the phase that they at. And after you have done all this, and there's several steps that we're skipping right here, but it's for the sake of this short video. I just want to introduce this to you. It's not a new concept, but by no means, but I do feel that is the most important part of your business to understand, because never before we had social platforms to distribute our message, and they're free. But we have to understand how to utilize all the social platforms that allow us to connect with our audience, or to connect with the people that need us. So what we need is a clear call to action. That's what we need. And that clear call to action, it could be, like we said before, schedule a call to take action on buying a course, to take a lead magnet, whatever it is that we have to give them a clear action of what to do after they have heard our message, after they have heard our communication. So Uh, very short. I hope this has been of great value. If this was of value to you, give me a subscribe. Just hit that button and put the bell right there. We're gonna be bringing you more of this information, because we want you to actually understand how to grab attention, how to dominate that, how to master attention grabbing content. And the next video that we're going to present to you is going to go deeper into each one of these phases, and we're going to use the frame, story frame, that you can adapt to your brand, to your product or service. And that being said, one of the most important brands that you have to work on is in yourself, because at the end of the day, it's people dealing with people, and we tend to disconnect a little bit, saying my business, my product, my service. And the fact is that people work with people that they feel comfortable, that they can trust, and they feel there's a some kind of a bound right there. It's like we are brothers in arms, or well, not to discriminate against women or anything, just a saying. We are all together in this journey to um, produce and to make a better world. We're trying to impact people in the most positive way, and that is, at the end of the day, the greatest value of all. That we're trying to share our collective knowledge to better ourselves. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed this short video, and I brought value to you. I really think that this is it. So look forward to the next videos. Put that bell in there. Just click there, and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.